Before the video begins on showing you how to replace the parts, I can already imagine people are going to comment in the bottom of the video about me using a concentrate jug to refill the car. Um, the reason why I am going to use concentrate and not the premix 50/50 is because I have been experiencing this coolant leak for quite a few months now, and when my car begins to run a little too warm, I always just top off the car with water to get me by. Um, so now that I'm finally ready to replace my parts, the car is mostly filled with water. So when I put the new parts on, I am choosing to put in concentrate because it is a stronger coolant that will mix with mostly water, which is okay. For people who don't want to do that, you can go to the store and buy a 50/50 mix jug, and you can refill your vehicle with 50/50. For people who already bought concentrate, you can get another empty 4-quart jug, and you can split the concentrate in half. So pour half of that into another 4 quarts or like a 1 gallon jug. Once you split the concentrate half and half in two 1 gallon jugs, you can fill them both up with water, and you now have two 1 gallon 50/50 premix. Hey guys, I'm gonna teach you how to change a radiator cap, but on a hose. The thermostat housing, and the thermostat housing comes with the thermostat itself on a 2004 Dodge Neon. Here is the radiator cap, or like the thermostat housing cap. This goes to the radiator. But yeah, here's the thermostat housing. There is a bolt right there on top, and there's also one more on the bottom. They're both either 10 or 12s. It will be easier if you do get like some channel locks, or you can get actual pliers that are designed for the hose clamps. Clamp this, move the clamp back, pull the hose off. You can save your coolant or not. I'm gonna just go ahead and put in new coolant in my case. But yeah, I will take short videos step by step. So in this picture, what I'm doing is I'm gonna take off the the cap onto the thermostat housing, not the radiator, because there's no cap on the radiator for this vehicle specifically. I am not the first owner of this vehicle. I have heard before if you mix different colored coolants, it can create like a peanut butter substance in the cooling system. This is a perfect example of what that looks like. And I was having a coolant leak on the cap itself going to the thermostat housing. Um, Coolant continued to just seep out from the cap. So I cleaned the seals before, and it did not fix my issue. So I'm going to replace the cap and the thermostat housing as well with the thermostat, because this is no longer good. When you put the new cap and the old cap side by side, this is what you're going to see in comparison. It's pretty contaminated. It's pretty nasty. So I'm just uploading these pictures just so you guys can see for yourselves. So I'm going to use my tool specifically designed for the hose clamp. I'm going to put my tool on the ends of the hose, like the wings. I'm going to grab my tool and squeeze it, and you can see that it's opening up the hose itself. Here is what the tool looks like in the next picture. There you go. That's the tool. I cannot remember where I purchased it, but it was a fairly cheap tool. With enough pressure, you can pull the hose off from the thermostat housing, and then in the next picture, I got my socket and my extension. I'm removing the top 10mm bolt, and then there you go. See, I got the bolt loosened up on top. I'm gonna remove that one slowly and carefully. Try to not drop the bolt. And then in this picture, I'm loosening up the bottom 10 millimeter bolt for the thermostat housing. Once you remove both of those bolts, this is what you're gonna see. The thermostat housing is finally off of the block of the engine, and that's where the thermostat is placed. In this picture, see that's what the housing looks like. Do not forget to remove the overflow hose. See, I got my slip joint pliers. I'm just gonna pull off that overflow to the reservoir. Once that comes off, the thermostat housing is finally free. Um, so yeah, it's pretty simple and easy. Alright guys, so once you get the thermostat housing off, this is what it looks like. You're going to want to get like a wired brush or a plastic, whichever is your preference. Try to not get much of the debris inside where the thermostat is placed. But go ahead and like, you could probably put like a rag, stuff a rag in there, or like a lot of paper towel. And then you can get the wire brush and just clean around the mating surface. So when you put the new thermostat, it's gonna seal pretty good. The reason why I say that is because when the thermostat is placed in the thermostat housing, let's get this in there. Give me a minute. Here you go. So when the thermostat housing is placed up against the block of the engine, there is a lip, the gasket that goes over the thermostat itself, and it's not completely flush. So when you tie down the 210s, it's gonna hold with pressure and create that perfect seal. So yeah, make sure the mating seal is clean, the mating surface. All right guys, so once you get the new thermostat housing in place with the 210s, one on the top, one on the bottom, right there in between, let's just blur it out. There, those 210s. Put the hose clamp back onto the thermostat housing. Not just the upper radiator hose and the hose clamp. Do not forget to put back on the overflow hose as well. Also at your local parts store, they have this. Oh, my phone just has bad adjustment today. I don't know why. Here we go. We're gonna use this coolant fill kit. They have like these adjustable caps and fittings that mount onto like a radiator or a thermostat housing. Yeah, so what's gonna happen is I'm gonna start the car and I'm gonna pull this up. So once the internal temperature hits 195 degrees, because that's what the thermostat is rated for. It tells you in Celsius. You can look up the conversions on the internet. So once the thermostat reaches 195, it's gonna open, and it's gonna fill the missing, the missing coolant. Burp out those air pockets, and if it needs more, I just top in the funnel. But yeah, once I start the car, I'm gonna pull this up, and then we'll see how it goes. All right, the engine is on, it's started. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. There we go. Filling in the radiator most likely. And the lower radiator hose. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and add more. Or hold on, let's see here. Oh wow. Look at that, that's a lot. Oh well, it took just what it needed. Alright, well let's wait till the car reaches 195 Fahrenheit. And then we're gonna see if it's gonna take that as well. Oh, maybe the thermostat might have opened. I don't know yet. Let's see. No, the car is still on code, so that was just another air pocket. All right, let's go back and check out the funnel. All right, so yeah, so that's all the air pockets for the front. The engine itself is still sealed because of the thermostat, but I will keep you guys up to date on when it opens up. Also, guys, if you want to like speed up the process to warm up the block a little bit faster, there are these two cables right here. This is your accelerator pedal, and for the cruise control. Yeah, just pull these cables and you can make the engine warm up a little bit more faster. And look at that, it's still cold, but it's starting to move up. There we go. All right, but the thermostat won't open till it's in the middle. I'm familiar with this car. All right, guys, I held down the cable for like another minute or two, and almost there for the thermostat to open. A little bit more progress. All right, so in the meantime, while it's still warming up, it's a good idea to get some lights, some flashlights. Check your seal, make sure there's no coolant dripping down. You know, you can see, you know, some liquid pour, drip, any signs. Looks like it's not. It's nice and dry on that bottom bolt. I don't see no water falling. The only water that I do see here, or coolant that I see, is just my seal kit. Once I get that new cap on there, I would check the top again. You can see some little bit of wetness right there on that hose. That's coming from my funnel kit. But other than that, as long as that bottom bolt is dry, that one right there, we're good. Thermostat is nice and sealed, being pressed on from the thermostat housing because of those two bolts. You look at my hose is good too, nothing wet, nothing dripping on the bottom of the hose clamp. So that's good as well. That's some good sign. I don't see no steam or anything. That's where it's at when I drive. Let's take a look at the funnel. Oh yeah, look at that, guys. Thermostat opened up. All the hot coolant came out from the block. It's definitely dirty. But I did do 2 or 3 coolant flushes last year, a year ago. So probably just maybe the coolant hose is dirty, the radiator core, I mean the heater core or the radiator itself is just dirty. Oh, look at that, it dropped down a bit. Wow. Well, I'm glad, that's pretty cool, it's not that on camera. That was a sudden drop. But yeah. So it's filling up pretty good. I'm touching the radiator hose. They feel a little warm. It is cold outside today. And maybe like in the 50s, I think. I'm not too sure, 60s. But you can see some response when I squeeze the upper radiator hose. Getting some of that air out. Gosh, that coolant looks disgusting. But like I said, I did do a flush, like 2 or 3 flushes a year ago, literally. So it's just dirty hoses, you know. So that's it, guys. I can cap off the video with the radiator cap. In the meantime, I'm gonna let it run for a little bit more, maybe like another 20 minutes. I say let the car run in total for 30 minutes will be ideal. And then check your coolant tomorrow. After you're done driving it from work or from wherever, once you have the cap on, park it home tomorrow, let it cool off for a couple hours, and then check to see if it's at proper level here. And don't forget to check proper level on your coolant reservoir as well. Hey everybody, Alright, so I just took off the funnel accessory. Of course, the car off. Took off the funnel accessory, put the cap on. Well, you know, fill up what's left needed. Put the cap on, start it up. But yeah. So like I said, when you're done using the car tomorrow for whatever purpose you need, you know, to work, grocery store, whatever, take the kids to school, pick them up. When you park the car, when you come home, let it sit for like an hour or two. If it's too hot, even though it's been an hour, wait another hour and come check it again. Pop that cap open and see if it's full to the top. If it's not full to the top, top it off. And make sure your reservoir is at the proper level as well. Because when the engine gets hot, the coolant, the fluids expands. And from the hot coolant that expands of all that pressure, so it creates pressure. And when it has too much pressure, there's like an inside valve that opens and it releases the pressure into the reservoir, which also pushes out coolant. And then once the vehicle cools, it's going to create a vacuum, so it's going to want to draw in fluid. So when everything kind of much shrinks in a way, it's going to want to draw in some of that coolant from the reservoir. So make sure that's at the proper level as well. So if this is empty, check that as well. So there you go. If this does happen to be empty every time you check, and you don't really have a leak, you see no leak, and this is empty every time, and like a hose is collapsed, like meaning like it's all sucked in, you have a bad cap. It allows coolant to come out, but then it won't coolant to come back in when it cools. Bad cap, if that's your case. But other than that, you're good to go.